Happy Monday. Welcome to Adobe Live. We're on XD today with Mick Champayne.
Hi. How are you?
Yep. So we'll dive into Mick's work in a second, but over the next 2 days, we'll be designing a design system with Mick, and she'll talk us through what that all means.
Yes.
But just in terms of like an overview of what we've got going on today, let us know where you guys are tuning in from, by the way. We're in San Francisco. Mick, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
So she came here.
So I'm from the future. Yeah.
She's from 2 hours ahead.
Yeah. Very far.
But yeah, so stay tuned. Let us know where you're coming from. In 30 minutes, we're going to do like a chat and win. So that's when you chat and win things. So stick around. And then the last half hour of our time together will be reviewing portfolios. So if you guys want to submit your portfolios to be nominated for a review, our team will choose. If you guys look in like the live chat tab thing on like the very right thing, it says portfolio reviews and has some instructions for how you can submit to get your portfolio reviewed. But yeah, let's just jump right in, Mick.
All right, cool.
She's got an intro.
Yeah, I've got a deck. That's me. Hello. So just to say hi again, I'm Mick Champayne. You can find me on Instagram at.
Oh, here we go.
There it is. No. It's all right.
I'll type it in the chat. Chat.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. You'll see that illustration is a theme for myself. I just wanted to give a little high level about myself. I'm a huge fan of internet culture. I feel like I speak in GIFs and memes. I feel like it's my love language.
So. Let me also point out these are her illustrations.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're going through XD today, but she is also an amazing illustrator. Go check out her work. It's so fun and amazing.
Thanks. Runaway space helmet. And yeah, I'm super into pop culture. Like I like to joke that my brain is kind of like this like garbage dump full of useless trivia, especially from like the early 90s, late 90s, millennium. I don't know. It ranges.
Our childhood.
Yeah, our childhood. And then I also really enjoy using both sides of my brain. So definitely am a very creative person. I like to get weird, but I also really enjoy using the left side of my brain, like the logic part of it, and like creating systems and like being organized and stuff like that. So I like to have a nice balance in between the two.
Perfect balance.
Yeah, I'm just looking for balance in my life, honestly. So just to give you a little bit of overview of my like career so far, like where I've come from, where I'm going. So I went to school for interactive arts and media in Chicago.
Cool.
And I really came about because I really enjoyed, I don't know if you remember this, but like designing like AOL instant message, like away messages.
Yes.
And your GeoCities and stuff. And I remember being like, this is great.
There is a whole generation that has not experienced that.
They really need to bring back away messages. Like, just so I don't.
AOL is gone now. Did you guys know that? AIM is gone.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. So that kind of led me into my career. And so I started as traditionally an art director. And that was more because UX was still a very burgeoning field.
Yeah, that was not a thing a few years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than a few, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to think of as 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like there's one UX class in my college course. So then I went I started as an art director, started working on like digital campaign work, did a lot of banner ads, web builds and things like that, but also worked on like branding and identity and just more campaign work. So it kind of just gave me this like holistic point of view on the work that I do, which is super nice. And then I've really missed my digital roots, so I went back to being an experience designer. And I really wanted to work on digital products. I enjoy the organized chaos of it and the creativity of problem solving and helping people in an impactful, thoughtful way. So this is just kind of an overview, high level of my design process. It starts as a mess, and it's just also like how I live my life. It just starts, really high level, like my process. I start with a lot of discovery, doing a lot of research, learning as much as I can about it. So that's where like the logical side of my brain comes in. What side's left? This side. And so it's just like research, trying to like deep dive into the problem I'm trying to solve or the user I'm trying to connect to and empathize with. And then it moves into the more like the creative synthesis part of it. So I'm refining, starting to think through concepts. If I'm designing, I'm starting to get into like really high level, what could this look like, a little pie in the sky. So it's like the more the creative side of my brain. And then lastly, getting into design.
There we go.
I moved. So yeah, design, and that's where you're getting into, you're starting to do wireframes, you're doing detail design, prototyping, all of that stuff is kind of happening all at once. And then you're just iterating and testing.
This
Yeah.
illustration is really resonating with the chat audience. It's so
Oh,
accurate.
good. It's so good. It's a beautiful mess up front, and then it goes into
Some order.
some order, chaos. Yeah. And then so detail design is actually a great segue into what we're here for today, and it's all about design systems, and that's what I enjoy this part just as much as I do like the pie in the sky concepting part of it.
Yeah.
It's really like helping me set myself up for success. So this is why we're here today. Ta-da,
And
creative-
tomorrow.
And tomorrow too. You got me for 2 days. Get ready to strap in. So you might be asking, Dohi, what is
a
design system?
I've been curious for the last 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't worry. I'll tell you. It is how I define it is kind of like a toolkit. So it's really designing for the digital products, and it goes beyond just like a style guide. It really includes components, a lot of documentation, and really sets up like the overall process of the project or the structure. It can be also as fluid as you need it to be too. It's totally scalable. So it's a living document, so you should constantly be thinking of like updating it and like keeping it current too. That makes a lot of efficiencies, so you can just go in and pull things, you don't have to think about it, which also ensures consistency. So if you're working on like a bigger team, then you can have lots of people working and you'll feel safe and secure knowing that they're pulling from the same thing.
Yeah.
So just to kind of high level view, it's equal parts style guide. I love how we keep moving.
Little parts.
Yeah, it's equal parts style guide. So that's like the typical things I think you all think of when you think of a design system. Your color, your typography, setting up your grids. I know developers love to know what grids you're working on, and we won't get into like the nitty gritty of that because that I feel like could be its own topic too.
We talk about grids for like a week.
I know. Icons, photography, like what your illustrations could potentially be like. Some brands and companies do brand personality in their design systems, which I think is also really helpful. That's part of maybe the style guide, and then you can move into a component library. And so if your style guide is like your foundation and your building blocks, then your component library is starting to take those elements and build components for them. So you've got like buttons, you can
reusable little bits and pieces.
Yeah, totally. And then your navigation, your footer, if there's card patterns, maybe you're working on a big marketing website, so you have ad units or something, or a news website. It's whatever you need it to be. It's all kind of tailored. And then lastly is the documentation part of it. So it's really like creating these frameworks for you and your team to kind of know how to work together, what kind of principles you're aligning for like the goals of the project too. And then for some companies, you're able, like if you're like a big behemoth company with a lot of designers, you might have actual code snippets so that people can go and access it and just copy and paste like your button, which would be super nice. But if you are not working at a giant behemoth team, which a lot of us aren't, you can, if you're just like a bootstrappy like 3-4 people, then you can have a little design system too that will make your lives all a little bit easier.
Yep. And I think you're touching on this, Mick, but like the design systems are kind of few and far in between in terms of what that can look like, or it's really kind of what best serves your team and your needs at that time.
Yeah, they're super flexible, and that's, I think, what's the beauty of them, which is really great. So here's just some examples of design systems that you can find.
Is cool.
Oh, thank you.
It's very
It's a
cool.
little keynote, Annie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got like your industry standards where everybody goes to material design, so that's Google up that away in the black.
Yep.
Then you have Atlassian. They're really great because they talk about their brand personality and tone and voice and stuff like that.
I love MailChimps.
Yeah. Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
so
MailChimp
fun.
is so fun. And that's actually, I use that one as a reference for myself a lot. And then, so those are like the bigger companies. But there's also, and this guy over to the, yeah, over there, the last screen up. I guess I could use, no, my mouse isn't there. But yeah, he's like a more, this one guy that has a small studio. He created himself a little style guide, living component kind of library, so that when he wants to update his own site, like
that's
it's,
nice.
yeah, it's super easy. So yeah, that's a couple examples for you. And then kind of how I approach my work. So I didn't even talk about this, but I'm a lead experience designer at an agency called, hello,
What do you
I'm
do?
Mick Champayne. Yeah. I'm a lead experience designer at an agency called Digitas in Chicago. And this is kind of how we approach design systems. So I'm helping kind of design and set the tone and the vision for projects. So I work on a lot of digital products that are kind of road mapping what the future could look like. So it's really important to have a good foundation, as well as like a bunch of rebuilds or redesigns of websites and things like that. So step one is always to set yourself up for success. And that's kind of like the theme of this little talk today. It's really about like having organization and designing with a system in mind. So it's really setting yourself like a foundation. And then step two is all about collaborating. And so it's like really kind of starting to socialize your design system. And they kind of work in tangent with each other. It shouldn't just be like, I did step one, I'm gonna go do step two. It's all about like doing this together. So you'll be sharing this design system with other designers. So when I'm working a lot, I'm working with another designer. So she or he should be using the same kind of things that I am. So I'll show you how to collaborate like that and it makes everything so much easier. And then also with developers, like just getting their eyeballs on it so that y'all are on the same page.
It's not a surprise. You're like, here you go.
Yeah, like go build this for me. It's
Yeah.
all teamwork makes the dream work. I'm pretty sure is how that goes. And then step three is, this is where my pop culture, it's the final documentation. I keep thinking it's the final countdown in my head. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it for you,
Sorry,
I promise.
I started.
Yeah. So that's really working with more of like the front-end developers to create those code snippets or just get final buy-off. And like that's where you really want to align with your team and make sure that you have addressed everyone's needs. That's also what makes a good user experience because you're kind of in essence making your own product here for your team. So yeah, you want to have a good user experience and be very empathetic and make sure everyone's heard. And so just to level set for today and tomorrow, we won't be covering the third step. That can get really in the weeds, but I can kind of try to talk through it a little bit.
What you might do kind of at the end.
Totally. So today we're going to be focusing on like the foundation of the design system, and then tomorrow the tips and tricks and the tools to kind of collaborate and start building components and pages and things like that.
Awesome. So yeah, any of you guys in the chat, have you guys used design systems before? Or I see Eric says he uses design systems even for concept/passion projects with friends on Behance. So you're way ahead of the game.
Oh, yeah. He's a trendsetter.
Yeah.
Cool. So today, should we pause for questions? You said you're good? Okay, cool. So I will be working on a project that is a little near and dear to my heart. I did a little logo and some identity work for a ceramics company.
And what is identity?
Identity, that's like the branding. And so it's really defining all the styles. And I'll go through that. I've got a couple slides to share with that. Yeah. And so like if that's all existing in this nebulous like this is the tone and the look and feel and stuff, like I'm going to try to translate that into, I'm going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to.
I'm going to translate that into a design system and making a design system for them digitally. So we're going to pretend that we're building a little e-commerce site for this company, and it's really going to build a foundation for the company Sugar Plum Clay to take over the ceramics world. Woo! Woohoo! I know that's kind of a lofty goal, but I mean, if Amazon started by selling books, like she can start by selling her clay pots. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So Sugar Plum Clay is your client, or is the client?
That's right. And I will tell you how I got, yeah. So I got a total cold call email asking if I did any logo work, and I was like, yes. And she's like, this is she gave me a little runabout about her company. She drew a sketch, and I was
the client sketch.
This is the client sketch. I guess, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's pretty great.
I like it. Yeah. I like it.
But I loved it. I was like, yes, like she's trying. So I totally got what she was going for. I was like, but I just wanted to make sure. I was like, I'm getting some like mad booty vibes going on here.
See that little peachy?
And she was like, that's exactly what I'm going for. And I was like, you've come to the right place. So too long didn't read. This is the result, and this is what I ended up finalizing with her. We've created a little logo mascot that I am affectionately calling Prune. I think that's a pretty appropriate name for a plum.
It's a good name for her.
Yeah, but it's got some little cowboy booties on that, like, I guess I had some personal affinity for her too, which is great. So yeah, this is a bunch of the identity work that I did. So going back to earlier, this is kind of what it can look like. So I have some finalized logos. I did a deep dive into typography.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I did a lot of, we worked really closely on the fonts here. I wanted a really big graphic font to use that could be like really
like your signature display.
Yeah, totally. And like share kind of like the vibe that's going for. But knowing that is a little hard to read, wanted to make sure that she is definitely supported and has like a primary font too that she would probably use in more like marketing materials and headlines and things like that. So gave her, I always say plantain, but it's not. And it's such a weird font name.
What is it?
Plantain infant? Enfant?
Plantain
enfant. So yeah, I gave her that kind of supporting font. That one means more business. If the other one's being like a diva and is playing around, like that one's gonna be like, I'm here to do the job. And then I gave her a sans serif too, called Europa Bold, just more for like the utility stuff and for accent.
Yeah, and just some, I think, contrast too. You kind of want
a
little kit to play with.
Totally, I want to make it flexible.
People are seeing. They ask who modeled for that logo.
I can't disclose.
Josh says, I saw more booty stuff on Mick's Instagram.
Oh, it's true.
Mick is into booties.
Yeah.
Check out her Instagram.
It's my signature. So yeah, and then I gave her a color palette. I tried to keep that pretty limited. I gave her a purple, a red to kind of like, if the purple's kind of cool, I wanted to play up some warm colors. And then just like a nice green teal tone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gave her a photography mood board, so when she does go to make assets to photograph her pieces and things like that, kind of giving her an idea of what to look for and what to shoot. Kind of clean sweeps, play up the colors when she can.
Yeah.
Make it feel really clean and modern, and just kind of giving her some guidelines there. And then lastly, I did some extra sketches of Prune, just like, I was like, well, I'm having fun, and I couldn't decide on just one. I feel like, so we've got one like karate kicking, and we've got standing and kneeling.
It's like a little mascot.
Yeah, so I wanted her to have an arsenal and a toolkit where she can kind of make it feel flexible and use it however she wants. So so that was super fun.
This is like the identity piece.
Yeah, so that's the identity piece, and now we're gonna move into setting up for her design system. So the way that we work at Digitas, we do things called North Stars, and that's like a rapid prototype kind of project where we go hard and heavy on like the concept. And so here I can just show you. This is what we're gonna pretend that we've already delivered a concept. We've worked with her on it, and this is what she wants to do.
Signed off concept.
Yes, so as we are like finalized, she's feeling good about the fonts and like the photography and the general layout and stuff like that. So she's feeling good about this, and so we're gonna go and blow out like. And I think that's a really good point to talk about, is like to start with a concept so that you don't waste all this time or energy or on the nitty-gritty kind of thing. You're just like, high level, I'm going to show you a couple screens. I just showed her the intro and the homepage just so she can kind of get the feel of things. And then that kind of helps me set my tone going forward and when I'm going to make all the other screens. So for this, I wanted to start with a giant like intro screen, just like, I mean, it's a Sugar Plum Clay with a butt logo. So I wanted to make an impact. I want to make a statement. Yeah, make a statement. And so it's the clay that slays, and I had really a lot of fun writing this headline.
Copy is also such a huge part.
Yeah, that's another part of your like design system that is really important. It's like, what is your tone of voice and your so I started with that, and then I did a quick prototype in XD, so I just made that scroll so that would just push up, and I'm loving like the thick border feel around the browser window. I've seen that a lot of places, and I'm like super into it. So how I'm envisioning this is just like a giant, like nice big carousel that would have rotating image and content that swaps out if she wants to push new seasonal things, showing how the logo lives, and just like a quick nav like this. That would be another part, was your IA, like your information architecture. Yep. Yeah, like I just call it IA, and then I'm like, wait, is that
what is that one?
Yeah. So she's gonna have a products page, events and workshops, something she's gonna be pushing and about, just to let you know who she is, and facts.
Yeah,
sure.
FAQ.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe she did. Yeah. I always just pronounce it. And then a big old cart button that will follow you, and that would stay static is how I'm kind of envisioning it. And then moving down the page, setting up a little bit more about who she is. So this is her product offering. We're a small ceramics and pottery studio from SoCal that'll tickle your fancy. And so just having some cards up here that will show you the different categories that she makes, hypothetically, eventually.
Yeah.
Yep. And in a way to get in there and see all the products. Moving down, we've got some like marketing components. So here is a way for her to push
certain collections.
Totally. Yeah, or products or whatever kind of content she wants. So those are super flexible and fluid. And
you're using placeholder content here, right, for the client concept. It's not like real photography she had to take.
No. Actually, this is all Adobe stock right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice
because she didn't have it yet. So we're rolling on Adobe. So this is another little appearance by Prune. I definitely want.
I love it. I love it.
I definitely want her to make an appearance every once in a while, just to like remind you who's here. She's hanging out. She's doing her thing. And then a big old section for her events and workshops, and wanted to highlight that on her homepage.
So fun.
So that you can maybe go out and meet her in person.
Yeah.
So got some couple cards here and a way to go see all events, and then we just have our footer.
Jacob wants to know, what typeface are you using for the logo / display? I think you're using the same typeface,
it's called
right?
Salvage Display.
Salvage Display.
Yeah. So
I think I saw. I'll type it in here. It's like JE. No.
It's SAL. Salvage.
Salvage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question mark?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yes.
So that is kind of the concept that we aligned on and signed off on. So now we are going to start actually building her design system. And this is where it's just like, okay, well, where do I start, like, kind of thing. And then I think every project's different, and like also just like how you're feeling that day, like it might be different. But we're gonna be concentrating on starting with color and typography, and also
the granular foundation.
Totally. And total transparency, I'm always checking out like these design systems that are online. So just trying to see what they're doing and how they categorize. So like, if it loads. Yeah, so color is MailChimp's, okay. It looks a little different than earlier.
Yeah, they changed that.
That must have been like just live.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they do just kind of seeing what other people are like outlining and kind of prioritizing and wanting to talk about in their design systems, I think is really important. So yeah, like Atlassian is great. They're really thorough. If you want to check that out.
And I think it's finding finding the bits and pieces that make sense for you, and like the project scale you're working on and your team. Like it doesn't have to like if it was just me and Mick working on something, we wouldn't need documentation like that last time.
Like if you're doing 100,000 page website, you would want to have like an Atlassian kind of design system. But because we're just doing a small e-commerce site, web store. She doesn't really need all of that, and that would probably actually bog her down. So just being mindful of the system and like the project scope too, I think is really important.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's actually useful for the client and the project.
Yeah. Like, oh, and then just to show you a real example, that one I was talking about earlier. So it's really, really simple. It's just a one-pager, and it's got his logo, the colors, the headings he's using, paragraph, blah, blah, blah. And he's got some components in there.
Yeah.
So it's just like super simple.
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm probably just going to do like a one-pager kind of thing today. And we'll get rolling on that.
So in terms of like your process step, once the concept is signed off, is that like the next step of creating the design system? Is that what you would normally do, or is that kind of depend on?
It kind of depends. I think after you got your concept selected, then we work in like a sprint methodology kind of work. So then that's going through and kind of scoping out, okay, what are all the pages that we need and all the flows and things like that. And what will help with that, and something else that you can capture in your design system, is like your wireframing. So this is what I started with, some sketches of all the different pages that I want to do. And this is not the whole site entirely, but is going to give me a guide for like today and tomorrow. Yeah. And so it's a lot to go through. So we got intro and home already done, so that's good. I'm going to do a product listing page where that's pretty much her whole inventory. Yeah. Her product detail page. If we get to it, we'll do an about page, which will be kind of fun. And then also, I just want to like highlight, just because I'm doing desktop today doesn't mean you shouldn't be thinking about mobile. So I do think about mobile, but just in the interest of time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We've only got a couple hours.
Yeah, I know. And so, I'm always trying to think through both at the same time. And then I moved into, sometimes you'll actually go into more high fidelity. Sketches don't always fly, like just for clients and stuff like that. So we'll go into wireframes that are a little bit more
kind of like I always think of them as like blueprints. Like I try to tell clients that.
If you're
like,
building a house, and then the design system is kind of the shellac too, a little bit.
Yep, totally.
So I made those, so just to kind of give us some guide and let us know what we're making. And then you can also start to see what the patterns are too, and kind of when you're setting yourself up for success, then you kind of know what you can be reusing in the future and how you should be thinking about.
Totally.
So that's the high level ones. So, all right, I'm going back to my thing, and I'm going to start with my typography. And this is where I would probably go into, I like to create like a side little off-campus kind of thing to like set me. Literally off-campus. This is just a rectangle, but you could make an artboard if you wanted. Yeah. So it's just, this is where I'm going to start my foundations, and I want to start with color.
And while Mick's setting that up, just in a minute, we'll have chat and win. So stick around and, you just chat. I'll give, let's see, what should we ask people?
What
do we want people to chat with us?
Yeah, that's a good question. I
don't know.
What's your favorite GIF? Can we see GIFs in chats? No.
I don't know.
That's probably not a good one.
Yeah.
That could be dicey. What's your favorite...
It's a hard one.
I know. I want to
think. I wanted to make something butt related, but I couldn't think of anything.
What's your favorite? I got nothing. We should probably steer clear of that. That was probably my moderator's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go.
Maybe what font are you liking these days? Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Salvage is such a cool one.
And
so if you guys
I saw some people being like, it's hard to read.
We know.
That's why I covered my butt
with the
plantain.
So yeah, you guys want to tell us your favorite font, any cool fonts that you've been wanting to use in a project recently, and just put them all in the chat, and we will see who wins Chat and Win in a few seconds.
Excited. I love winning. Oh, okay.
Back. So let's see. You guys tell us what are your favorite fonts? You guys told us already? I guess we'll find out. And there will be a winner in soon. I never know when the winner will come
I
up.
like these pops.
So yeah, let's see. Is there a Shrek
How do they
font?
pick the winner? Do we pick the winner?
No,
Oh.
it's a magic box. Of
I
all
love
these
magic
people who tell us their
boxes.
favorite font, and then we will the magic box chooses one. And there will be
Honestly.
a special prize on the other side of Chat and Win. Let's see some fun ones. Din. Oh, Din's always good. Yeah.
Comic Sans.
Dude, I think Comic Sans gets a bad rap, and I don't think it deserves that.
It actually is really good for, I think somebody with like reading disabilities, I was reading an article
for, like,
about
kids
it.
and stuff?
Yeah, it was actually a really, like the forms of it makes it really accessible or something.
Ooh, Blenny. I've never heard of that. But it's a retro. Oh, here we go. Panagiotis.
Tuvras. That sounds Greek to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats. Good job.
You have won 100 free 3x3 stickers from Sticker Mule. I think our team will follow up with you in terms of how to redeem that prize. And then for everybody else who's part of, streaming, tuning in right now, if you guys want to go redeem your special offer, I think it's 10 stickers for $1. So, design something cool. Give it to all your friends. Mick and I were talking about how we have naked laptops and just need some stickers. So maybe we should go design some too.
Yeah.
But yeah, go click on this link.
I need to learn how to do stickers.
I know. I need to commit.
Yeah. Okay, so what I had done was I had stolen my color palette from my identity work, and I am putting it into XD. So I just copy and pasted, which is so easy and so good. And I love the colors, but they do feel a little limited, so I want to give myself some options and some tints. So all I'm gonna do is just duplicate these guys.
And what are you, like, I know what you mean, but why did you feel that they were limited, and what do you plan to do with tints and things like that?
Yeah, there's some times where it might just feel a little aggressive, like that red might be too in your face, so I want to have like a toned back kind of approach too, and give her some options too. So I don't, like designing systems, like you don't want to have them be unruly and like too many options, because like people will get like decision paralysis.
Too many options. Is not good.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to keep it feeling like on brand too, and like rainbow's not on brand for her, unfortunately. So we're just gonna keep it really like a limited palette. So actually I'm gonna delete these guys. What I'm gonna do is take this down. I just want the primary, I just want it to be at 50%. So I'll take it down.
So maybe for like backgrounds or like, I don't know, just
accents and stuff like that.
Other options they can play with.
Yeah, and then it's great because that's the alpha, but I want the hex value, so I'm just gonna sample that and make it full so that it doesn't have a transparent background on anything. The same here with this guy. I'm just gonna do that, do 10%, and also get the hex value of that.
Nice.
Cool. It's really light on that screen.
It's really
oh
hard to see
no,
on
maybe
that
I
screen.
should change that for
maybe 20?
20%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that again. Is that
It's
a little
very
bit?
hard to see, huh?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we can see it on mixed screens, so if you believe us.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do
like 70.
We'll do 70 on this one.
Yeah.
Cool. And actually, let me grab that color, and then we'll do, boom. Let's try 30. I think that's
you can see
that.
You can see it much more on her screen too.
Yeah, when it's not being projected. Projectors, man, they always kill me. Like you want to be subtle with like these nice like grays and stuff like that.
Thing,
and
right?
they never show
we
up.
like subtlety, but most it doesn't show
everybody
up.
misses it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Cool. So then you go into here. I'm gonna sample that, and I want to be. What do we say? Like
70?
70, I think. Yeah. This is just for. I can't say this word, but illustrative purposes. Illustrative? No.
Yeah,
illustrative.
Yeah. I don't know how to use it now
Words. Cool. And we'll do that and make sure we get the hex value of that.
Nice.
And then we'll do that for the last one. And boom. So this is
Cool. Nice. So yeah, now you have kind of some options to play with. that keeps it all in the same family.
Yeah, and if you are just struggling for a color palette too, you can always just take like your hex code, and I like to use this tool called Adobe Color sometimes.
Ooh, nice.
You ever played around with this?
No, I
it's
have
super
not.
fun. It's you can just put in the hex in the middle, and then it'll give you
sweet.
all of these different color
Kind of families.
Yeah. Oh, they call them
relationships.
harmonies.
Oh,
Harmony.
dang.
Yeah.
That's a fancy
yeah, I
word.
know. Complimentary. So you can see I'm playing in the right section. Like I have
Yeah.
some greens in here, so it wasn't out of left field. I'm not feeling that color. But yeah, and then the shades here. So yeah, if you
It's kind
ever
of a good
stuck,
starting point too, and
Yeah.
then you can kind of customize if you want from there.
It's a fun tool to play around with. So I luckily have all of these all set. I think I should also give myself some blacks and grays
Yes,
too.
it's always good.
Yeah, so I'm going to fill those with black.
What are blacks and grays good for? What do you imagine kind of
good.
using them for?
Yeah, for her, I'm imagining it's for a lot of like accents and for headlines, body copy kind of stuff. We're keeping it very like high contrast in the
Yes.
type and more muted in just like the accent colors.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make a white here, which I will put a border around so that we can actually see it. And then a nice gray. This is, I don't know, sometimes I want to go light, sometimes I want to go dark.
Yeah, really depends.
yeah.
And you can come back to it too, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're designing and you're
Just
like,
wait
"Oh."
for that. Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
yeah, it's all gonna be connected, and you'll be able to edit on the fly, which is nice. So I
So
feel
Zora
like this,
asks, wait, you're sampling 100%, then making 80%, and then sampling the 80% and making it 20%. I think you were sampling the 100% both times, right?
yeah, I think maybe on that last one I might have been trying, but
Yeah.
establish a rule for yourself and then just stick with it. I think is the key there. This is me just trying to design on the fly.
Yeah.
So.
This is our usual process.
Yeah, we're just trying a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah. So cool. I feel really good about that color palette. So this is like one of my favorite parts of Adobe XD. So it's super easy. You can just, it's like one click and they'll add all of the colors for you, and it's so great. So I highlight the group, and then I just go over into my assets panel, and I click colors, and look, it gave me all of them.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that 20% thing that you're probably talking about. I think that was that guy. I forgot to sample it because I wanted it to be 100. So all I have to do is like click that, and I can just quickly add that.
Nice.
And because I'm such a an organized
You're so
person.
good. My files are like nothing like this.
Oh.
Let me tell you guys.
Oh, I can't handle that. I like to go through and make sure that that they're following a pattern, so that
Oh my gosh.
so gray. And then what's really good about this too is that you can rename these colors.
Mhm.
Actually, that'd be a great question. What should we name our purple, red, and green?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Plum? Oh yeah, what do you guys think of these color names? Let us know and we will
Like I can start you off.
replace.
Yeah, like I can start that off with plum. I'm thinking that's a good name. Or maybe prune.
Yeah, prune. Oh
Prune.
yeah,
Since
that's her name.
that's her
That's
name.
her name. That's our signature
Yeah, like this
purple.
could be cowboy boot.
Yeah, go
you can
for
name
it.
it whatever you want.
Yeah,
Like
and that's also nice because then when you're working with your team, you're referring to a very specific color versus like, oh, the string of random letters and numbers that is very hard to remember.
Actually, that's a great point. So going back to MailChimp,
Yeah.
they name all of their colors. So like peppercorn is this like dark gray, which is really nice. And they have a lot of colors. So
Yeah.
I love tuna. It reminds me of The Office.
Oh my god. Especially when it gets into the neutrals. Like I think
Yeah.
that's where
like
specific color names come in handy because sometimes it's hard to kind of tell the difference.
Yeah.
Unless you're a designer and you're very nitpicky about those things.
yeah, but even then, like screens though, you can't even sometimes tell.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
right,
kinda
yeah.
nuts. Like this coconut's looking very different than jasmine on my screen, but
Yeah, it looks pretty similar on
Yeah.
this screen.
anyway, so yeah, it's really up to you and your team how you want to name these things.
Let's
I can see Mick is a little OCD.
Hodgepodge.
Hodgepodge? I like hodgepodge. Is that a good one? Okay, let's call
Bloom.
let's call that one hodgepodge. The
That's
red
all
one.
we've got so far.
All right, well we're sticking with it.
Yeah.
And then just telling them that it's what the percentage is of it so that you know.
Nice, nice.
And I'm just gonna call that black. white, and gray.
Nice.
And then what?
Oops. For the green?
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
That's
You mean
okay.
like,
That's okay.
I don't know.
Prune, 10%. Yeah, you get the gist of it. That we can just call leaf.
Yeah, leaf.
Let's leave
Yes.
at 50%. And then I saw somebody say I was a little OCD, but you know what? I'm gonna own it because I'm setting myself up for success.
Yeah, this is like my dream. I wish I was like
Yeah.
Mick. 'Cause otherwise, you have to figure it out all at the end, and you realize you've used like 50 shades of the same, like with like
Of
slight
gray.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're like, why did I do this to myself?
I know.
Now I need to go and update all of my
All
files.
of it. Yeah. So you know what? It's good. So now these are in our system, and we can use those for all of our components later on. So next we're gonna do typography, and I just honestly just duplicate these again. Typography. Yes, there. Now we're cooking with gas.
Yes, so in case you guys are just tuning in, Mick is on Adobe XD, and we're creating a design system for Sugar
Plum Clay.
Sugar Plum Clay,
Yeah.
Which is the up-and-coming ceramics brand.
Yes.
So Mick worked with the client on creating kind of a high-level visual identity and look and feel, and got like a homepage kind of concept signed off, and then from there, now we're documenting kind of the colors and typography, and then so that we have that guide to
building her a toolkit for her web commerce store.
and for you to kind of roll out the other next pages too.
Right, like because she's starting with commerce, but who knows, maybe she'll want an app down the line or something. So we'll have a good foundation for her to build on that. Okay, moving into typography. So this is where I kind of take a visual inventory of the kind of the headlines that I'm using already, and starting to see if there's ones I can pick out as like, yes, I want that one to be my headline 1 or headline 2.
Yeah.
And then if you ever need inspiration, you can always go to, we're just gonna use MailChimp.
We love MailChimp.
Yeah.
It's like a free plug for MailChimp.
I know. It's like that podcast that was like
MailChimp.
Yeah. What was that? It was so good. But yeah, just kind of doing this like this kind of style where it's like heading 1, heading 2, outlining what these are up front so that we have something to work with. Because it's a design system, it's super flexible, and I find myself constantly bouncing in and out of design and the system, just seeing what works. Because sometimes I'll be like, yes, this is perfect for this component, but then I'll take it to another one and it'll be like, this is way too horsey, it's too big, it's not fitting. So just trying to like meet in the middle.
Right.
So,
and if you have special use cases, then just making sure you like document that as a special use case.
Totally. So like for instance, this guy, he's huge. Like he is like a big, bold graphic statement.
Yes.
And so
it's really like I mean, to me, it kind of feels like an illustration or like really a design element.
Yeah, totally. So that, and if we were doing like a total formal design system, and I'd want to document like in this like, hey, maybe you would want to say in your design system, like use this very sparingly. This is only for like 1 headline pages kind of thing. Just building those rules, and that's part of the documentation in your design system. So we're gonna call this one is heading 1. So I always like to create my own little like cheat sheet.
Nice.
Here. Boom.
I love watching how other people do it. Because I think we all have, there's no right way or wrong way.
It's like Reese's. There's no wrong.
Yeah, and people always think there's a specific way you're supposed to do things, but no, you come up with what works for you and your team.
You do you, girl. Like, yeah, that's what's the beauty of these things, and that's part of that creative side too, where it's like, I'm gonna make this how I want it.
Yep.
And like that's what I like to do is like that's why I'm always constantly checking out other design systems, because I'm like choosing like I want this piece from this.
Like, this is helpful.
Yeah,
I want to incorporate that into my guides.
This site does illustrations really well, and how they capture and talk about it, and then this one does like the headlines how I really like it. So I'm just gonna make my own. It's like a sampler platter.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
So yeah, that's gonna be my display. My heading
Rose
1
says I do what my boss tells me. That also happens.
Yeah. This is also a very ideal state, like kind of thing.
This is our ideal project.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it is. I'm making a logo with a butt. So, okay, got my display, and then I'm gonna go see what else I have, and then I think this guy is a good like heading just going down. Yeah, and I'm using that here.
Similar style there.
Yeah, and just that's a good point to bring up too when I'm designing even just like this like prototype kind of feel for the client, trying to reuse elements around the page so that like in the future when I go to build a system, then it's gonna be already have like a good foundation.
Yeah.
So gonna copy that guy.
That's where I get into trouble sometimes, like especially in the concept stage, I'll like not pay attention to the system too much, and then I'm like, oh no,
what did I do?
I should have, then I'll just kind of quietly clean things up.
Yeah. But if you don't have a system to go off of like this, like or a page, there's also a really cool website called Typescale.
Ooh,
have you heard of this?
No, I'm learning all the tools from you
Yeah,
today.
no, it's a really fun site. It's okay. So total transparency, like M's like trip me up. Like I
Yes.
don't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No.
I'm like
I
went to art school and like this math thing
No.
like you're making me do is kind of hard. Like I can grids like I'm just about there.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't get this M business.
I know it's a little tough.
Yeah.
So this is a really like nice little cheat sheet, and like going back to that MailChimp example, if you don't know how like your visual like cadence or what kind of the hierarchy you want to go with, this is like a good place to play around. So like for this one, you could like that's kind of like how I'm rolling on this project.
I think also like when you do enough of these, you start to get a sense, and like I always have numbers I go to like as my start. But I think to start, if you're if you want to just practice a little bit more and what makes a hierarchy, like these tools are awesome.
Yeah, this is like a good starting place. Like I think I always do mine in like multiples of 8 or something like that, because I feel like I heard that somewhere.
I don't know. It depends on, and then it depends on the typeface. Sometimes like
Right, like sometimes you get a really big horsey one, and you're like, I can't in good conscience put that like too loud. I don't know.
So you use these as a starting point.
Yeah, using it as a starting point. So that's great. But for me, I've already got kind of the system going from my concept, so I'm just gonna keep going with that.
Yep.
Just gonna knock this down to 100. Let's do 100.
What was that one called? Font scale?
Type scale.
Type scale.
Yeah, type with a hyphen.
Type scale. Oh, there we go. Maria posted. Thank you, Maria.
Cool. Yeah, and so just moving down the page, trying to define what else we got.
And the point of doing this is so that when you're, first it helps your client or developers, the rest of your team, but also for you as you're building out other pages, just like make sure you don't have like 4,000 different type styles, because I've also been there.
When I was a junior, that would be like my go-to.
Yeah, you're like, I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I'll do it later. So heading 3, I think I'm gonna use this as it.
That reddish one you had? Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna steal the black one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, just so I don't have to get into the color kind of thing.
Yep.
And call that with heading.
I think what's really nice is like you see the clear contrast in hierarchy. I think sometimes, that's one of the common issues I see when people have style guides. It's like there's like 2 pixel difference between, heading 2 and heading 3, and then try to consolidate.
It's a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so heading 3 is good because I feel like I'm using that in a couple spots. Heading 4, I'm just gonna steal this one just for this exercise. Gonna steal that guy. And
right, and you can specify. If you were handing this off to your team, maybe you would walk through like, hey, for heading 4, we're just using in this this special case.
Yep.
Or this special instance in this card.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure
you're in the driver's wheel. You just gotta tell them.
Yeah. You gotta tell them.
Yeah. You have to write it out usually. Hope that they read it. But no, honestly, it's pretty. I think, and then I'm just gonna make a rule like that's probably the smallest size for that typeface.
Of the salvage
display. And then I'm gonna steal this guy.
Yeah. And I think some of the comments in the chat, people were saying, hey, it's a font that's difficult to read. And I think, you are aware of this stylistic choice you are making.
So we're making rules around it, because I still want to use it.
Yeah, I know. We get greedy.
Yeah. I'm being stubborn. I'm like, this is my dream project. Just let me have this.
For sure. I'm like, I don't care about this weird.
Heading 5. And this is just visually so I can just see. It's purely for myself. That's not for anybody. else. Okay, that's heading 5. And then the last one I'm going to use is
like
what I call an eyebrow, and I think that's like a left,
interesting.
I call it that, but I think it's like a carryover from like print days or something. I think it's just because it looks like a little
I've never
eyebrow.
heard of eyebrow. No, I like that
Yeah, they're on fleek for sure.
So are those like the little
like labels?
Yeah, labels. Yeah.
Let's call them labels instead of eyebrows because we don't
Well,
want weird
I don't
people.
know. Eyebrows is kind of nice.
You like
Yeah.
You like eyebrows?
Yeah. Because it's like at the top too. You know, it's like a structural thing.
This is so good.
Yeah. Cornelian says, "Who cares if they can't read it? I'm with Mick. We're on your team."
Thank you. All right. Can you be like my boss and my client and everything? Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you can't read this font. It looks cool.
We're living in a dream world here. Cool. So I feel like I am feeling pretty good about my
kind of type
choices.
Nice.
Yes. Feeling good. Feeling great. Well, the other thing before I forget, and I don't want to forget it, is my body copy.
Yes.
That's very important. So looks like I already have some going on in here, so I'm just gonna steal this. But I like to give myself options.
Me too.
I think that for this, I'm going to make that like the small version. So, and this one.
I'll usually have like a regular, small, large.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't know what you're gonna.
You don't know.
You don't know yet.
Like, and I want to give myself options.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to a buffet, and I want to have choices.
Don't want to limit yourself too early.
I want to treat myself.
Yep.
So if I'm gonna say this is another fun little plugin that I really like. So I don't want to keep my copy in there. So what I like to do is use this Lorem Ipsum plugin. So all you do is you select the text box that you want to put this in. You have to install it in your plugins thing. But all you do is you fill with placeholder text. And instead of going, I used to go to websites to like copy, and they've got some good ones. Like there's a Jeff Goldblum one out there that's pretty good. Yeah. But I just for this, I'm trying to work fast. Blah blah blah. I want to insert this text. So here is it's all done for me.
Nice.
I didn't even have to copy and paste.
And also, this is a quick way to check, I think. Sometimes there's a big difference between like setting 2 lines of copy versus setting a paragraph of copy and how that type choice looks.
Yeah.
So just kind of quickly checking like, okay, if I were to set, a large amount of body copy in this font, like it looks good or bad.
Yeah, totally. And then, so that's my small. Then I want to do a large one. So I'm going to make and I think for this, let's see, what would be a multiple? Do you want to give me a size?
I can't
24.
see it, so I'm gonna
it's at
let you
18.
choose.
Let's see.
Yeah, 24.
24.
Yeah.
That feels like a good number.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I'm a fan of the more tracked out.
Me too.
Kind of paragraphs, a little easier to read. Oh, that might be.
That's a little much.
That's much.
You'll see
Scale it back.
It's all just
trial and error.
Yeah. People are always like, how do you choose? I'm like, I don't
know. Whatever
looks
good.
Try.
We'll call this large. Cool. So I'm feeling pretty good about these choices. I feel like this
you have to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too much. It's not too little.
Yep.
Got some choices. So here again, I'm just gonna take this over into my assets panel.
Nice.
I'm gonna duplicate it because I don't want to capture this part.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna delete that.
You're keeping those notes just for yourself.
Yeah. Just for me. They're just for me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go into my assets folder or assets tab.
Sidebar.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hit character styles. And they're all there. There they are. It's magic. So good. And again, I definitely want to make sure that I'm organized.
Yes.
I would like organized versus like OCD.
This is the dream.
Yeah.
This is how I wish my brain worked, but it does not.
Oh, I feel like I have to have like it all set up.
Dude, you're
right.
so good. Your team must love you.
Ooh.
My team hates me. I am giving you this mess of a file, and please
do something with it.
Please do something with it.
So I'm gonna just quickly redefine these so that I know what I'm working with. Nice. That was the label one.
So then you'll have always the same, like palette, let's say, of fonts to choose from as we're going through the remaining pages. So she's setting up the foundation to her design system and the building blocks.
And just just making rules around things and naming things so that, because I hate when you get so far down a project and then you have to, like, at the end of it, you have to go and do the documentation. And you're just like, why did I do this again? Or what was my rule?
I hate myself for that every single time.
And it's just like, it's like the worst feeling.
No, I'm very inspired by you today. I'm gonna go home.
I'm gonna follow up on this.
And I'm gonna send you screenshots of my ass.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the way to work.
Yeah. and honestly, like, I work in an agency too, so this isn't always like this is best case scenario. Sometimes you're working really quickly and you have to make decisions and stuff.
You just gotta roll with it.
You just gotta roll the punches. I take it day by day is how I live my life.
Yep.
It's okay. So, all right, feeling good about that. I can delete this. So I got that. So I think the last thing I want to add is just maybe like the icons. And I think I'm gonna use Lonely Planet as a good example. They have a whole giant icon library.
Wow.
I know, and it's I think people think icons and they think all of the really like utilitarian things.
Like email, blah, blah.
Yeah, like the call me or the whatever.
The
Who
usual,
uses the phone? Yeah. So this is like I love that this gave me an option of like this can be more like illustrative. And then see there's like
they also have the
interface kind of things. But for their brand, they're really working on like a icon set that is showing a breadth of like destinations and is very personal to that brand. So
for sure,
we're gonna bring Prune in
because Prune is a big part of the Sugar Plum Clay.
Yes, of the brand. She is the brand.
She is the brand. She's the mascot.
I know.
If you guys missed this earlier, Prune is a hoot.
Yeah, she is. Honestly, why I took that project on.
You're like, I like where this sketch is headed.
Yes. So I'm going to go into my little identity kit that I made. I'm going to go steal Prune. She's hanging out here, and I'm just like, nope, you're coming with me. And you're going to go right in. You're really big.
And you're just copying and pasting that directly from Illustrator?
Yep.
Nice.
And it captures all of it. I went in and I outlined everything too, so that I didn't have to worry about borders.
Yeah.
And that's like a good rule to give yourself when you are handing off files too.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's the worst when you get files from someone. You're like, they're not outlined.
They're not outlined, and you don't have the font or something.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst feeling in the world. So that's my icons, and I'm just gonna ungroup her. So if at any point I want to, I can come and steal her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think that's a good basis for everything. And we have 30 minutes left before portfolio? So I think now I'm just gonna show how to do some patterns and like starting to capture components and stuff like that. Because that's what we're doing today is like building the foundation so that when we get into it for tomorrow, we can go in and start bringing these wires and add some color, add some prune to them, and just show how much easier my life has been because I was helping my future self out.
Oh my gosh. I love how you're helping yourself.
Yeah, it's like retirement.
I want to help myself.
Yeah, but I just can't. I know. Okay.
So that's a good reminder. In half an hour and 30 minutes, we're going to be doing portfolio reviews. So the team will choose. We'll, again, have a magic box of teams who will choose 2 portfolios for us to review. So if you guys want feedback on your design portfolios, make sure you click that like little I think there's a little link on your Adobe Live chat for portfolio reviews. Put in your submissions, and maybe we'll get to see your work. And we're very nice. Mick and I are not going to be mean.
No.
We know it's very nerve-wracking to show your work. So
yeah, I mean, this is a very vulnerable space right now.
Yeah. It's very scary for us to be up here.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those I always get imposter syndrome. Like I've been in this career for like, do I want to say?
I don't know.
I don't know, like 10 years, honestly. But it's definitely like a very vulnerable thing to share your process and your work. And so I feel you.
Having people watch you work, I think, is like, so applause to you. So if you guys want any feedback from us, we're just your friends and peers.
I'm here to be your cheerleader too.
Yeah, for sure.
I will take a look.
And I think also it's nice getting feedback from let's say we're 10 years into our careers, like if you guys want feedback from like what we might be looking for in people we're hiring. Or it's just things like that. I think it's, submit your portfolio reviews. We'll be nice and give some constructive feedback.
Promise, we will be nice. Okay, so we are gonna start building components. So I think we should start with buttons because those are very universal, very global.
Yeah. And what are components, Mick?
Components are like little pieces of UI that you can reuse around your site and your design system. So for instance, like a button would be a component. You can build these things with the foundations, like your colors and things like that and your type. But they are like the building blocks of a page kind of thing.
They're like, if color maybe is like a Lego block. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like,
I mean, that's the like
people do,
Atom
like, the
Frost
atom,
kind of thing where it's like the
atom
atomic
versus
design where
molecule.
it's like, like you start with an element and you build, then you move out and build a system that way. It's good in theory, is my personal opinion, like, but I say like for 90% of the work that I do, it's just like jumping into design and you don't get to build all of it. So.
Yeah, it's great in theory.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to what works for you and your team.
Totally.
That's really the goal of this tool. It's not to make a library, but it's so that you can design with it.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna start with buttons, and that's like another thing, like when you have multiple designers working on like multiple flows, you wanna have something universal. So you don't wanna get down the line and realize you have 20 different button styles.
I've been there. It's really painful.
And it's like trying to choose one, you're just like, oh, I don't want, but this one's so perfect for this, or whatever. It's really tough. So I think setting some guidelines for yourself up front is really a good thing to do. So just taking a look at my concept, I'm gonna use that as my, actually I think I'm gonna use the black one as my.
As the primary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you can have a couple of button styles, but again, like just like the typography choices, like limiting them and making sure there's an intentional use behind each style, like versus like, oh, I'm just gonna slightly reduce this one because.
Yeah, you want them to be visually different enough, I think is like a good note to yourself. I know it's really hard as designers to want to just change just little things, just and that's that subtlety thing again where it's like, but you have to remember it's for your users and thinking accessibility, like you want things to be very like high contrast too, like that they know that this is different than this.
Yeah.
So just for our components, we're going to make those. So this is my primary that I'm going to call it. Add a little type box.
Nice. So you name your components on
yeah.
Nice.
Just to help me. And so that's my primary button, and this would be my secondary. And you could do a tertiary. I should probably do a link style in there too.
But you can always come back to it, right?
This is
like
fluid.
That's the whole point.
Fluid.
Yeah.
And so what's nice about these two is like you want to be thinking with your developers in mind, because these aren't just static and they're not going to just be JPEG. So I'm going to create
like a
hover state.
Style. Yeah.
And
they will always ask for a hover state.
Always. That'll be like their first question. You don't have to make these a component, but you should have this documented for. And let's use leaf. No, that. Let's use hodgepodge.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a very clear difference.
Hodgepodge.
It's so good. And then for my secondary one, I think that we should do. Do we want to fill it? Let's just.
Yeah, I was thinking fill. Yeah, that's a
fill.
common pattern for like an outline button.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I like to right click, and then you can do apply as fill.
Oh my god.
I know. Oh, you have to have it turned it on, but it would have worked.
Watching all your.
See, like if I wanted
secrets.
to do it with this, then I could just change it like
my
that.
God.
That's too Halloween-y for me, so we're just gonna
go back to white.
Cool. All right, so that feels good. And then another button style that they'll probably ask for is a disabled one.
Yes.
So this is disabled.
Or maybe it's like a sold out button, or just something that there would be a button, but you can't interact.
You can't
with
proceed yet until disabled. Cool, and that is where maybe I'll use that gray. Apply as fill. Turn that border off. And then
nice.
I want to make sure
you're still sticking to the colors in your palette. Nice.
Yep. That still looks kind of active, so we'll just knock back that gray a little bit more. Cool. That feels good.
Yeah.
And then just the last thing that I like to do is do the version for when it's on a dark background.
Nice, yeah, the inverse. Yeah.
So let's see.
Karen Wang is here to show some support. Do you know Karen?
Oh, I do. Hello. Hi. I saw a couple other people too, and I wanted to say hello, but I didn't want to interrupt.
I know, guys. It's very hard to like read the chat and design. So.
I know. Okay, so we'll steal these guys. Just drag
And
them.
again, I think when you've gotten used to designing websites, you know the states you're gonna have to design for because you learn by doing.
Yes.
And not doing.
Yes, this took many, many years to get to.
Yep.
Lots of trial and error. So going to fill, I think for the secondary one, we'll just invert it and just make it white.
White, yeah. So I was thinking too.
Boom skis. And then this, I think we'll just do a white fill.
Nice.
With, yeah.
Sure.
Perfect. Does make me think though, we shouldn't have that as the fill. So we'll just we'll do a prune. Let's give her some love.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It's the brand color,
Yeah.
so that's the primary color. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Done. Approved. All right. Next. So here, to make it a component, so that is in XD, like a symbol that you can use throughout the entire, like all of the artboards and stuff like that. And if you edit it in the master component, it will cascade and change in every single one.
Which
and
is so helpful.
So nice, especially like when like later somebody's like, this is too small or it's too hard to read, and you just like, instead of having to go through it, and if you think about all the buttons you might have to like edit,
it could be
I have wasted
hundreds
of my years of my life.
And then they're like, oh, actually, let's go back. And you're like,
no. So I will make this a component. And you can either go here in your components section down here and click add, or I love shortcuts, so Command K, and that makes it
Command K.
Yeah.
There you go.
And because I'm like this, I'm going to change it, my button, to, okay, so that is the secondary. And then that brings up, I guess, another section about the whole naming convention.
Yeah.
I like to start with button and whatever, if you want to spell
Whatever
that all out.
component it is,
I like to, it makes it a little easier to scan for me as I'm going down this like giant list.
Yeah.
It will be giant eventually.
Do you have a standard like naming convention you use for components or?
Yeah, and I think it usually starts with like the component type.
Yeah.
And then like
Whatever descriptor.
Yep, right. And then if it's like the inverse or something like that, if it were this guy or whatever, I would want to call that out to make sure that it's different.
Yep.
So feeling good about that. I'm gonna go take a little inventory, see if there's any other ones that I need to capture. I think that's pretty much it. I might capture that scroll button.
What about the ones on your cards? Do you think that's just specific to your cards with the little arrow?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be a button. That could be like one of the link texts.
Yeah, like a link style of some sort.
So that's a good call out. And also, I think the cart button is a big
Oh, yes.
is a big one to do.
Yeah.
So this will be a link.
I just love this exercise because it really, I think it keeps you honest as a designer too, and like your file's clean. I mean, this is just like, the best way
This
to
is
do
like
things.
also the fun type of work that you just put headphones in and you just like
Yes.
listen to your music and you're like, you put the sign on the back of your chair like, don't disrupt me.
Your Slack notifications away.
Like, bye, I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
Put on a good like playlist. Oh, that's a good question. Anybody got any good playlists?
Oh, gosh.
I never know what to listen. I can't listen to podcasts when I design.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know how
I get
people
too
can
engrossed.
listen to it. I just miss the whole thing, so
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, it's like I can't pay attention to one or the other. So what kind of music do you guys listen to when you're designing? Do you have a go-to sort of music? Sometimes I like just straight up classical music.
Oh, you fancy.
I never listen to it like at home, but if I'm like really just need to focus and jam, like
you're like, I'm gonna get in the zone.
yeah, some Mozart up in here. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm feeling it.
I don't know any of the songs, but I'm like,
Well,
okay.
I really love Looney Tunes and
Oh my
like a lot. Yeah, like there's so many good Looney Tune cartoons that are based around like these like classic operas and stuff like that. My favorite.
They're very dramatic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's this whole. I
like
could
rap.
get into it.
There is 60s and 70s soul. Ooh.
I'm gonna call this.
On Fridays, I listen to like straight up hip hop.
Oh, yeah?
Always hip hop days.
Oh, that's fun. In you guys' studio?
Yep. Just gotta blast it. Gotta get through.
You just gotta. That's a good 90s or early 2000s bop.
Lo-fi hip hop radio on YouTube.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I am more of a singles person, so I need like. I think it's because I came up with like compilation CDs growing up and stuff, and I'm like, again, the useless dump of knowledge up here is like little sound bites of songs.
I love it. I love it.
So this is my cart.
Coffee house music. Yeah, I like that. I think there's like it's one of my favorite
channel?
Spotify lists.
Yeah.
Like your coffee house favorites.
So for this one, because it's
nice.
a cart, we're definitely gonna want to have like a filled version of it. So I just duplicated that circle and
Nice.
just gonna make a little like notification like it's being filled. Right there. I think that might need to zoom out to see if that's too big. That's a little big. Boom. We'll add and we're gonna pretend that somebody's gonna buy a lot of ceramics. Just so.
No, it's good to design for kind of edge cases too.
Yeah. Because I don't want to have it bleeding off like that. And then we'll turn that to white. We will update that tracking so it's 0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah. So cute.
Oh, it's so good. All right. This is where I get hung up and I can pixel push for
pixel,
forever.
I know.
Like, no.
It's not centered.
It's not perfect.
There you go.
I think we just achieved. That
That's
was
really
like
good.
quickest time I've ever done that. It's usually like me
It's
pushing
the pressure.
it. Yeah.
It's the pressure of Adobe Live.
It's perfect. Let's just leave it. So okay, we'll turn this into button to the cart, and we'll just leave that as just a state. So I think that's in a good spot. Okay, we got 17 minutes. It's like, how fast can we go? All right, we need to do navigation and footer, and I think that would get us in a good spot. Oh well, the cards. We need the cards. Yeah.
So what are we gonna do tomorrow? You know, you're working on this now.
Tomorrow we are building all the building blocks for tomorrow, which will be taking the wireframes that we've sketched out and turned into more hi-fi ones.
Yep.
And actually like building out these pages using the components we have. And so I think it should be pretty turnkey and pretty easy to just like design them. Like it'll be just updating like the style sheets kind of thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time tomorrow.
You'll see the Sugar Plum Clay site come to life tomorrow. But we're really laying down the foundation for that so that things move quickly.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to work on the navigation. I should probably just steal this guy. Less to delete.
Do you have a favorite like part of your design system?
Oh.
Mine's like hands down the type.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that your background?
No, I don't know if it's my background, but it's like I could just spend hours like playing with type. Like type just makes me so happy. So it really drives me crazy when like, because often I'll get like brand guidelines from different designers sometimes, and so it drives me crazy sometimes when I'm like, this type choice, no.
Yeah.
Like just a little.
Okay, yes. When I have something to react to, then yes. I like, if I don't like it, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling good about this.
But sometimes it's our job to, just move forward.
I know. But that's where you're like, I need to find a website font or something.
Yep.
Or this is the digital font.
Yeah,
for
this
it.
is the digital font. On digital, we will use this font because I said so.
Yeah, that's because I said so. So this will make a menu. So this is our menu. Where are my layers?
Do you guys on the chat have a favorite part of design? Is it the color, kind of like typography, or components or layout? Mm-hmm. Let us know what your favorite part of designing kind of like websites and experiences is.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I'm really bad at like knowing names. Like I couldn't look at a font and be like, yes. I'm so bad at that. So I feel like I always see like inspiration. I'm like, oh, that looks so good, and I have to go into the code inspect. Be like, what font is that?
Oh yeah, no. I don't know how people can identify fonts. Even if I've seen it a million times, I'm like, oh,
I don't get it.
Yeah. Zorro likes Payday as his favorite, as their favorite part of the design. I also like Payday.
I get paid bi-monthly, so that just happened recently. So that's cool.
That's so funny. That is
it.
the best.
Yeah. That is a fun part of it. Okay, so that's menu. And this I wanted to make really smartly. So I made the menu first, and then I brought in the logo part of it so that if I need to update this, I can just, wait a minute. That's the master component. Oh no! Just kidding, I haven't done that yet. So I made the master component here is the menu, and then I'm gonna duplicate it and bring it into here.
Nice.
And send it to the back so that I can delete these guys. And now it's nested within this other component.
Nice.
So that
if you ever change that one,
right,
that will always also change.
Right. Like watch this magic. So I'm gonna move this. Wait. Okay, I gotta duplicate somewhere. Okay. Oh no, it was just lagging. Cool. So if I want to change this, I want to give it more space. I can easily do that, and I can just do it globally too.
That's awesome.
Or, you know, if you're, this is another thing that happens with clients a lot, is that they will change their mind about their information architecture and their content structure. So this might be,
and it's gotta be a scalable navigation, right? Like what works for you at launch might be different from 6 months from now.
Like later, maybe she's got a really poppin' blog or something like that, so she would want to add that into her navigation structure. So that would make it super easy to do. And then I'm gonna go and copy and paste. Or turn this into a component. So now we are going to be very efficient. So we'll just put that up there.
Nice. Looks like people's favorites range all the way from, you know, color and typography to wireframing, prototyping, wireframing. Yeah, wireframing is always really fun. Prototyping is also fun.
Wireframing, I love this like actual sketching part of wireframing. I don't know why. I think it's just like, I don't know, it's a little bit more creative for me. And then I get into like this and I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel as cool. But I don't know.
It doesn't feel as maybe like you, like your personal hand.
Right. Okay, and then I'm just gonna steal the footer. We're gonna just pretend it was good. We're good to go on this guy.
Nice.
So we'll turn that into a component. Just stick that in there. Give it a nice old heading.
Nice, nice. Right, and now again, if you updated that, then even if you had 100 pages, it would make the change across the board.
Yep. And then the last thing that we're gonna just kind of start throwing on here is our card patterns.
Nice.
Yep. Cards. Delete this and this and this. And I'm gonna go take a look, spin around what I've got going on. This is definitely like a product category card, so I'm gonna go steal that and put it down here. And I noticed that I made a similar kind of card.
Yeah, you can have multiple kinds of cards.
Yeah. So I got an event card. So I'm gonna take that. And actually it feels like kind of its own thing down there. And then knowing my wireframes and being familiar with them, I'm going to go and I realize that this is probably going to be based off of the product category card. So I'll go and stick this guy down here to design.
Nice. Right, you're thinking ahead. You're helping yourself.
I'm helping myself. I'm helping my future self out. Gotta think about the future,
You're so good
man.
at that.
Yeah.
I'm really walking away from this inspired. I need to think real hard about some of my design processes.
I maybe think too much about it.
No, it's great. It's super helpful. I mean, you did it pretty fast, you know, and then it'll save you so much time on when you're actually working on rolling this out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a little bit of work up front, but it pays dividends.
For sure.
So I've got my category landing page card, or my product category card. I've got my product price card, a featured product one, and so I can just, and this is what's great, is I can just apply styles really quickly.
Yes.
So I can actually just make this component.
From your assets library of sorts,
So this is, let's use the H5, and I want to use that, so the salvage display has a really nice numbers, and so I'm like, I think that's probably why I chose that font. It was just like
I just need
these characters. They're so good.
I just want to use this A so bad.
I know. So I realized that was a little bit big, so I'm gonna make that a little bit smaller. And then I want to make sure that I always have a chance for, like, if it's like it's a little label call out or something like that.
Sale or something like that.
Yeah. So we'll make that our label font, and then I have this little rectangle for an image.
Nice.
So this is where I will help myself out with all the images. So a little peek into my folder structure.
No, I love seeing people's folder structure.
I don't know if you can do plus to view and zoom
so.
in, but I like to really just kind of give myself a good structure to like deep dive in, and it's super easy. So I have a whole assets folder that I've broken down into imagery. Branding is where I would put all of that kind of work that I'd gotten. Copy decks are really nice, especially if it's being more dynamic and you have to populate all of this stuff. And that's great for your design system and to hand off to developers, so they don't have to go into your design file and copy and paste. And then reference and fonts. So make sure that this is pretty much just like in case you are like out sick one day, or
in case you die.
Or
that's where my mind goes. Then your team knows where to put everything.
Life will go on.
Yeah,
I know.
That's important.
I'm really into dark humor too. But PNGs are probably the optimal way to save out things. You can have the transparent backgrounds and stuff like that. I bucketed it out to like hero images, product category, product images, lifestyle. And this is like, everybody's just like, they're gonna like kiss your face, like thank you, kind of a feeling.
Yes, they will.
I think they will like applaud you.
They will. Yeah, if you did this is like,
it's so good.
Because I don't do nearly any of this, and people, devs will be like, thank you. So if we did this
it's agency life,
whole
man.
new level.
You're always thinking about handing off. Is like, I think.
Right, because especially as, like we're not coding our designs, so we have to pass off to somebody else at the end. So just always thinking about that other person, that poor person.
Like, it's empathy and it's user experience. You want to it's all
and
it's
you
all
want
connected.
them to like working with you.
Yeah, yes. And you'll keep getting jobs and you'll keep getting payday.
Yes, so you'll keep getting paydays in a row.
Right. So okay, I'm gonna go into this is a product. So I'm just gonna let's just put a bowl in here. So you just drop that right into there.
Nice.
Resize it. And I think that component is feeling pretty good to go. And then
it's all looking consistent.
Yep. And then this last one we'll change. We'll do a new headline style. There we go. That's the featured one. Get this really nice salvage display. So that was.
Yeah, I want to play around with this font.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
You
know what I also love about XD is you can do subscript.
Yes.
Boomskis.
Oh my god.
I know.
Sorry, that's the smallest thing, but it's so important.
It's so important. Just like it's the little detail. It's that subtlety.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit plus on that again.
And guys, we're just a few minutes out from portfolio reviews, so if y'all want your portfolio reviewed, make sure you drop it in the link in the live chat on the top right corner. There's some submission details. And we'll find out who we get to review. Mick and I have no idea. It's just
I know. I'm excited. I want to see. Okay, so I feel good about these card components for now.
Nice.
So we'll go ahead and turn this into product category. So let's do card product cat. Get animals involved in this.
Yes. Sometimes I get way down in the naming hole too, though.
Oh, I know. There's no right way to do it.
Like, button.
Whatever works for your team. Like, if you want to name these,
I changed. This project is totally different.
I know. Card. Feature. This is his product featured, and this is an event.
Nice. So you're kind of deciding what use cases you're going to use these cards for.
And then they're all just kind of built off of themselves too, which is really nice. And then I think because we've got 5 minutes, let's just make as many components as we can.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing we've got like a.
It's
like a marketing component.
Yeah.
Like
a feature slot.
Yeah. So we could probably just steal this and make this into a component. Just helping our future self out.
Yes.
Cool.
And I just finished up a project, but I wish I had done this in the beginning versus like the end.
Oh, really? What kind of project was it? Anything
just
fun?
I'm working on an e-com site too. That's what I primarily do. But yeah, it's like sometimes I just go So, you know, when you move fast with a client too, it's like, where do I put my resources?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna put it on rolling out pages versus, but no, this is like my dream flow.
Oh, cool.
For like, you know, once the concept is signed off, you put in the styles, you put in the components.
And then they'll probably want it tomorrow.
Yeah, and then they'll want it tomorrow. And they're like, where is this? You're like, well.
You're just like, well, so I'm going to use that nice salmon color. What was it?
Hodgepodge.
Hodgepodge. And then an image here. I'm gonna delete this guy. Oh, I want to, and this is the thing. I go back and forth. Like, what am I doing? Actually, I want to turn this into a label.
Yes.
To make sure that that's
the little eyebrow guy.
Oh, my eyebrow.
Yes, eyebrow. Right,
The
using that
eyebrows
same
now.
style.
Yep. Changing this to the H2.
Nice.
It's vase. And then this is also the great part. So I've already built out my button, so I can go ahead and pull that button into my design. And I want to use a secondary button. Cool.
Now you're keeping everything consistent and looking on brand and just makes your life easier because you don't need to think, like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
I bring my lunch to work every day because I don't like thinking about where I need to go to find something, and then making design decisions or just decisions in general is so hard for me. So if I don't have to.
It is.
Shop now. Okay. Cool. My button's all set. I'm just gonna drop an image in real quick. I'm gonna use the intro one I used just to keep things consistent.
I love that you have it as the PNGs. It's just kind of more flexible
it's
to work with.
Yeah, and then I have to cut it out. It's a little bit of work up front, but like I had to cut that out.
I love it.
But it makes life a heck of a lot easier.
Seriously. This is so much better to front load the work.
Yeah. Okay, then that's feeling all good. And then we'll just call that a market.
Yep.
We can just make that its own section as marketing component.
Nice. I see. Yeah. And what was your rationale for how you're breaking out the different off-campus sites?
That happens sometimes. So also be sure to save your work.
Yes.
Whenever you can, because I think
it should just be. I don't know. For me, it's like breathing.
Yeah.
Command S.
Yep. Okay. Yep. We're just gonna go like that because I don't want it to crash because that always happens, and if I do not want to restart this from scratch.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead. Sorry. What was your question?
Oh, like what? How are you deciding to break things out into different groups?
I think I'm going off of like more Oh no. Just kidding. Where did it go?
Oh, the card. Oh yeah.
Well, you saw it. It didn't happen.
You guys saw it.
Yeah, it was there. I don't know where it went, but that's the beauty is I could probably make. You want to time me? See how fast I can make it?
Yes.
It's like design races.
Yes. I am timing you in that you have a minute and 15 seconds until portfolio review.
Oh no!
So that's all the timing
my starting to freeze. Okay. Oh my God! Look, it just showed up.
Shut up! Oh my God, that's magic.
So I did it in how many seconds? 10 seconds?
Yeah, that was like 3 seconds, dude.
Perfect. So I'm calling that marketing components. So how do I break these up? Again, it's just like trying to find inspiration. So a lot of these are pretty typical components. So like buttons and navigation and things like that. But just trying to find what works for you because this is an e-commerce site. Like it makes sense to have more marketing kind of things. So I don't need to call this component. So yeah, just trying to be mindful of that. Like I also think that these could be marketing components.
Yeah, the little
or like
wells.
Oof. I saw something in there. I don't know what that was. There's something on the wings. Okay, that is not meant to be there. Okay, I don't know what's going on. We're going for a ride today. But yeah.
It's Monday.
It's 11 seconds till portfolio review. So we'll just pretend that this is a marketing component. And then tonight, I'll go ahead and finish these up and just make sure that these are all in there.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune back in tomorrow. We're going to see how we're translating this design system that Mick has really laid out for us, starting from the color to typography to the components, and just, and how we're going to use these kind of building blocks to then flesh out her wireframes to create a beautiful site for Sugar Plum Clay.
Yes, a ceramics company. And
awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
Feeling good. Feeling great.
Yeah, so now we're gonna turn the tables around and look at some of y'all's work in the chat. So yeah, are you guys ready to dive in? Here, you can share my screen with me.
Perfect.
Or you can see it on that screen too. So I think.
Hi!
So sorry, we forgot to transition. We just flew off to space, and now we will be reviewing some portfolios in space. But yeah, without these helmets, because it's safe here.
The air is breathable.
The air is breathable indeed.
We have found habitable Earth outside.
And our first portfolio we are reviewing is Zaryab's from Karachi, Pakistan.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll kind of walk through the portfolio and give you our kind of high level impression and feedback, and then go into specific projects.
I am already loving the organization.
Yeah,
here.
what are you loving about it?
Yeah, I'm loving the big call outs and these big display cards. I think that's really nice.
I feel like it's very clear kind of what we're gonna go into at least.
Yeah, it's giving me a little bit of overview.
For sure. I think just taking a quick look, I see I assume there's gonna be a lot of UI elements and just some maybe interaction design we're gonna look
I'm really
at.
into the colors too.
Yeah, for sure. Good first impression. I think taking a look at their older work, I see there's kind of more maybe variety in the logo design.
I can see your designer journey.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
So cool.
They're definitely just kind of off the bat captivating and
super clean.
Makes me want to look at more.
Very organized, which I think is a theme for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mick loves organization. If you want a job with Mick, you gotta be organized.
Yeah. Let me see your file structure.
What should we look at? Is there anything that stands out to you? Should we start with the
let's look at the portfolio
update? This is from January through July 2019. So this is a showcase of app designs I've done so far. I think this is great in terms of getting a cohesive document. Often I think when we're looking through portfolios, you maybe spend 10 seconds looking.
It's quick.
Yeah, it's very quick.
So the cleaner and simpler it is to understand, and you've got a nice heading structure up there. This is what you're looking at.
Yeah, you're guiding us.
Not too much copy too, which is I definitely think there's a nice balance between having beautiful images and copy, because you do need to explain a little bit what you're looking at. I don't like when portfolios don't have any copy.
No, I always encourage people to write about their work, because it shows me you can create beautiful things, yes, which is very important, but we want to understand your thought process and your problem solving process. So I think something that could be improved with maybe some of this presentation is maybe just giving a little bit more context into the projects. This can be an overview, so I know this is not going really deep into each project, but maybe the goal or the problem, and then just one or two sentences and
Yeah, I think that's what I've been noticing a lot is a trend in interviews, is that people are asking to see your process, and even if it's sketches and things like that, they want to see how you think. And so, this is beautiful design work. I love the cleanness that you achieve. It feels very it feels polished, honestly.
Yes, I love polish. Yeah, for sure.
Just would love to see a little bit more about what you're thinking. But I think it is a
right.
high level.
I think of this as the index page maybe.
Yeah.
And then you go into each one.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's very clear you are into designing mobile apps. So the theme is clear. I think if you're applying for this sort of job, it's very clear that you have experience doing this. But yeah, I think I'd like to see more, and maybe we can click into more of the other projects. But I think there's a lot we like to know about designers, beyond kind of two feature screens. But this gives you kind of a high overview. Stay connected for more. Great.
Cool. Boomskis.
But yeah, let's look into my take on designing XD. Oh, so maybe this is more about the process they're taking.
Of the actual app or the program.
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see. Week 6.
Ooh.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I think it's very clear. Like, I mean, I love that you're experimenting and showing some of your experiments.
Yeah.
And like, I think often people are like, oh, I don't have like real client work, or like my day job doesn't, you know, like my job doesn't have good opportunities for me to design. But I think this is a great example of like doing what, you know, just even short exercises like this, like, can really just practice and build out your portfolio.
Yeah. Flex those muscles.
Yes, and there's a lot of them.
And honestly, it helps you learn like shortcuts and stuff like that. And, like,
for sure. And just like how to animate things, like that's something
yeah.
that I'm
I love
very
animating.
weak in.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm weak.
I love
yeah.
prototyping.
I love it. Yeah, this is so
that's
cool.
so nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's really great that you're showing your explorations. But I think in terms of like maybe some of these projects that you had on the portfolio update, like maybe building out like case studies for some of your favorite ones. It doesn't have to be all of them because you had a lot on there, but I think that's what I would like to see, kind of a more fleshed out project that shows a bigger, kind of more thorough understanding of your process or insight into your process.
Yeah.
Let's see. Z and white. I'm excited about this one. I'm a minimalist.
Minimalist is apparent in your cover cards.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I see. So this was your, yeah. I see, again, I like that
Zed,
you're kind
like
of,
Z.
Yeah.
It's like a British thing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But yeah, I like that you're setting us up, kind of leading us through what we're supposed to be looking at. But yeah, I'd like to see that for one of the app projects you designed.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's check out Minimal PDF Reader. So, cell phones are becoming our daily drivers. Document reading.
True that.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that again. Like, I like what you've done with this project in terms of like setting up the kind of scene and the context and the problem and the goal. It's supposed to make document reading clutter-free yet sophisticated.
Yeah, it's really an exercise in storytelling, like where you're starting from at the beginning and then moving down and just like guiding this person through your portfolio, which I very much appreciate.
For sure.
Broship.
So yeah, maybe this is also an opportunity to like
pull out some of those like icons.
Yeah, like kind of like what you saw on Mick's screens, like her kind of design system screens are.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I feel like it feels decorative, but I feel like it'll help tell the story of like,
For sure.
I worked on these icons and I made these. Yeah.
I picked out this typeface, like I picked out these colors, kind of like showing that more versus in context. Because I think then, again, going back to the storytelling, it shows that like you chose all these things and then this is how they translated into the design.
Coming soon.
And then you can kind of make a bigger impact by like showing all your screens at the end, or, you know, having a clickable prototype with the screens or something like that.
Yeah.
I think just takes you on your journey a little bit more.
I love going on journeys.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just fun. Just seeing what people come up with.
Yeah. These are super fun.
Let's see. Let's look at one more.
I've always meant to do one of those 365 days of UI thing.
I never did. I did a 100 days project like 4 years ago, but I was a different person back then.
I've done a couple of like 30-day ones, and I'm in one.
Oh, you did the illustration ones, yeah.
But it's illustration, so it's like
no, dude, that's like a whole thing.
Drawing. Open. Oh, I really like this opening.
Open Document Reader, Android app.
You can't see it on the screen, but he's got some nice
Oh
elements.
yeah,
like,
so yeah, you can't.
It's that subtlety.
Very subtle.
But it's that's always a thing. You never know what screen it's going to be broadcast on.
Yeah.
So
right. So yeah, just making sure that any critical elements are high contrast is important. But you have your critical contact high.
Yeah, in a high contrast.
Yeah.
So
this is nice again. Yeah, like setting up the color, typography.
I like how you're treating. Yeah. See, you're pulling it out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely enjoy that.
So maybe we were looking at an older project. I think that's what I'm reading.
And he's learning.
Yeah. For sure.
We can
definitely
see
seeing
it.
progress.
Yes.
Yeah, and then pulling out kind of the main like selling points or differentiators. And then, yeah, exactly. This is what we're talking about. And then putting kind of all the screens at the end to show like the culmination.
The whole system.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's great. So yeah, I think just going back, like maybe pulling out one of these projects, and building a case study like that.
He says, please have a look at smart TV remote.
Oh, smart TV remote. All right, let's go take a look.
Where at?
Maybe it's this one? Yes.
Yes.
Smart TV remote
Ooh.
app.
I want a smart. Okay.
Okay.
Look at this. He's done it.
Yeah,
like sketches.
exactly.
Oh, I love when there's actual sketches.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, you have
Smart
one of those.
TV remote. Oh, yeah, you do the dot grid. Man, you guys
Yeah,
are good.
that's good.
Yeah, every design project starts with a sketch, so mine did too. So yeah, and I think just even going through, like, maybe explaining like what you might be thinking in the sketching process could be helpful. Like, I think it's great that you show it. Maybe you're like, oh, I was just experimenting with, blah, blah, blah. Or like what ideas you were kind of sketching or testing in the sketching phase. Yep, then the wireframes.
That looks like a Rorschach or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
This is
that's a very
graphic,
pleasing wireframe.
The dark
Ooh.
version.
Okay, so so he's thinking through like the time of day.
Oh, maybe.
Cool.
Not sure.
Light version. Oh, did he say it in this?
It says, in this version, the OK button is separated from the other menu buttons.
Okay.
Okay. In the middle of the buttons versus separated.
All right.
Or maybe if there's specific things you want to call out, maybe like
use
making
like a little.
Yeah, like a little arrow or some sort of caption.
Yeah.
Final designs, great. I chose for the OK button. I don't know where the OK button is.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just totally missing
I see
the
it.
OK button. Oh, this is
see
the
it.
OK button. Oh, got it.
I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to, if you're calling it out so much in the copy and it seems like it's an important thing, I might want to make
just like maybe like
bigger
adding
note.
text here and like really pointing to it or something like that, because I think
Yeah.
again, like, you have to imagine people are literally spending like a second scrolling through these things. So if there's specific things you want to call out, like really pulling your attention to that.
Yeah.
So the dark version and the light version.
That's probably so like if you're binge watching Netflix at night, you're
Yeah.
not
Like, are
getting
you
that
still
blue light.
asleep?
You're like,
Are you sleeping? You're like, no, I am still
not.
here.
Don't judge me.
Yeah. I think something maybe just in terms of the visual design, like creating a little bit more contrast in like what the clickable areas are. I think even on our screen it's a little tough to tell with very subtle drop shadows. Again, we love that subtle, but in terms of making them feel like clickable buttons,
But I do like the menus at the bottom.
yeah.
That's thinking through with your hands.
Yeah.
Like users, screens are so big now that I feel like you're
Yeah,
like
you
constantly.
can't. Yeah. You're holding at the bottom.
Yeah.
Great. I think
Cool.
that's looking great. And we love the setup and the flow and the storytelling. But yeah, maybe a point of improvement is kind of calling out the captions or details in a more like
overt way.
overt way. But yeah, it's looking great.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. And now we've got Jorge. And I'm like, okay, Jorge.
Yeah.
From Porto, Portugal.
Ooh,
So we'll
some
be
pretty
looking
shots
at,
I'm thinking he's like really into sports.
yes, sports.
That's what
So maybe some like workout.
Yeah, athletic. I have a question.
Basketball, yes.
Do you pronounce it athleisure or athleisure?
Athleisure.
I say athleisure, and I get so
No,
much
that's
gruff
wrong.
for it. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why I say it.
Because
but-
it's leisurely. Athleisure. No?
Potato.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm in the minority when I say it's one of those things that I keep tripping up. Anyway,
I think we'll know what you mean.
Yeah.
Jorge, awesome. I think one thing immediately, I think what was working well in Zaryev's was like that kind of intro that we immediately kind of, was placed in like a context.
I didn't realize he set up like his principles designing a clean human friendly future. That was really nice.
So maybe that's something you might want to
An
try out
opportunity.
here. Yeah, like if there's
just
specific.
what your point of view is as a designer. Like I do
sure.
that on my own website. It's like this is what and it helps people like connect with you pretty quickly.
And just differentiate you in their mind, right? Like if you really like sports stuff, maybe you talk about that, or just again, like if they're going through lots of portfolios, like what's that one thing you kind of want them to remember you?
Your elevator pitch.
Yes.
Yeah, if you've got 10 seconds, how do you explain yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, let's take a look at some branding work.
Yes. I love a good mock-up.
I love one too. Really beautifully done. But yeah, maybe even leading with like the description. I mean, I like the impact of the image. You saw us respond to it. But yeah, maybe just telling us like what you're responsible for in this project, like t-shirt design or branding or logo design. I think that would be helpful for us to know like what we're looking at. But yeah, this looks great. I love mock-ups. It's just really...
It helps sell it.
Yeah, it's a huge difference
I want that t-shirt now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge difference, like just showing the logo like on a white background versus showing it all mocked up like this.
Yeah.
So it looks great. But yeah, again, like I always look for a little bit more context of like, okay, what are you working on? What did the client ask you to do? Or not. I mean, and if it's not a real client, just make it up. Like,
yeah. That's just how I live my life, just making it up.
Making
it up as I go along.
Everything. Let's see, Amber Field Notes.
Oh, that is
beautiful.
I'm loving these big giant images.
Yeah, maybe it's good to lead with these images.
They're very impactful.
Yeah. Field Notes is a notebook collection developed for the Portuguese company Ambar with a sports theme. They're focusing on the dynamics between the band and the notebook. Oh, nice. And giving it additional meaning and making an illustrative element.
Cool.
Wow, that's super cool. So yeah.
Also, the level of fidelity, like it looks real.
Yeah, it looks really real.
Is it
maybe
like a
they
3D
are
project
real.
or is it an
maybe
Illustrator?
They are real.
Does it say what tools did he use?
No.
Oh, that tennis ball.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's super cool.
I guess I'd want to know more context about like what. And Behance does a good job of like you can outline that in your projects, but I just wondered if he called it out.
Let me see. Oh yeah. Illustrator and Photoshop.
You only did that? Wow.
That looks great.
I think that's why I gravitate towards illustration because I can't do depth.
No.
Like I can't make it look real.
I like flat. I mean, I can only do flat.
Right.
So.
Like I'll just stick with a simple flat color.
Yeah. Huxel says, I want all of these. Yeah, these are really beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
So he's getting into
aero footage. It is a drone filming and photography based company. Its aim is to capture creative content beyond what their competitors can offer while delivering the high level of service.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, super cute.
I am into this.
So yeah, maybe again.
Yeah,
like,
this logo system he's building.
It's like your little
system.
prunes.
Yeah, it's like giving him some options and like using the logo as a base for all of his icons and things like that. Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
I love when that stuff happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, again, like I would want a little bit more context. Like, you know, maybe this like just saying like Skycam and I work together to create like the logo system or like, you know, the brand identity. Cards. Yeah. Just because like maybe the system existed before. I mean, not that that's what we would assume, but I think it's always like really good to be clear about what role you played as a designer in any project so that you can get all the credit that you deserve for that
validation.
Project.
Yeah.
But also if there were collaborators, like you want to give them a shout out and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful work.
I would love to see, I don't know if he's going to play in UI or anything digital, but I'd love to see how this comes to life because I think you could have some fun with that system, like creating a system for this.
For sure. I mean, you're kind of starting to see like maybe some components.
Like that could be a component.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool to even like mock up a homepage or.
Yeah, I think especially like even if you don't do that work, I think it's always great to deliver like in your concept to just like how this can extend to multiple different medias and platforms and stuff like that. So.
For sure. Yeah, even if you didn't actually do that work, just even for the portfolio, I think it's super helpful to see like the vision.
Totally.
And let's look at one more. Sprint Reader. Let's see. Oh, nice. Sprint Reader is a fictional online magazine for millennials. Articles are meant to be short-lasting reading.
Because that's where everybody's attention span is at. So he's hit on a user need for sure.
Yes. So there's a magazine, events, and store. So this is an online magazine. Got it.
Cool.
So yeah, I like, to me, like I'm a words person, so I like kind of getting that context. I know what to look for and how this project was a success or where it needs improvement.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Super cool.
Navigation is like unique. Yeah. It's not your typical magazine.
For sure.
And it feels like a magazine because you'd probably be swiping
flip
it through,
right?
right?
Or like something. Yeah. Oop. I'm gonna exit this. Let's see. Sprint reader goods. So maybe this is the store section.
The store was meant to be treated as
extra feature in the magazine.
This is where he's bringing in his background in clothing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's beautifully done.
I like the product detail page on this.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You can favorite it too. I think you get all the important elements in it, but the hero really is the imagery.
Yeah, it's really imagery focused site. Like checkout process.
Oh,
That's
I really
nice
for this
to
forms
see.
thing, I really appreciate when it's really obvious like where you are in the form.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think like even if you're inside of like the name field, like
Right.
like this
It's
is where you're focused
highlighted.
kind of thing. Like I really appreciate that.
Cool. Oh, I see. So these would each open up like this. So
So it is kind of like that pattern of like a
Yeah.
magazine.
It's like an accordion.
Yeah, that could be really fun on tablet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to like prototype this.
Mm-hmm. He has some fun animations.
Mm-hmm.
Bookmarks.
It's looking great.
So yeah, he's got some cards. Well, I wonder how his
Oh.
design system was.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I'd love to see the kind of
The behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Show me some artboards.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is looking great.
This is a very
Thorough
project.
Yeah.
A lot of screens.
There we
Oh!
go. Yeah, you've already answered our question.
Yes. See, like there's another example of like how you can do
Oh,
this.
this is cool. Yeah, they really set up a whole system here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be super complex.
Mm-mm.
But
so
this
what's
is
he
a
got?
robust one.
He's using.
Colors, typography, icons, spacing,
Mm-hmm.
forms, buttons, navigation, cards. Nice.
Perfect.
Similar to what you're doing.
Good build. Oh.
Wireframes.
It just keeps getting better.
I know. I would like to see this in the beginning, so
Yeah.
then it kind of like builds up to the
reveal.
high fidelity
Yeah.
designs, right? Because then we're just ending, so maybe
Yeah.
just having some, maybe just switching the order of these around a little bit.
Yeah.
But
That's
these
beautiful
are
work.
looking amazing, guys.
Put my design system to shame.
No, that's great too. But
Just
I like
different.
this idea too of like downloading the design kit. Maybe it would be like a XD
Yeah.
file or something like that.
I've seen ones where you can download.
the whole UI kit.
Yeah, and I actually have one to share tomorrow. That's
Oh,
like made
nice.
for XD,
Awesome.
and that's one that's just like super like thorough.
Nice,
But yeah.
nice. Oh yeah, so we'll go more on that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be cool to see this as a prototype, I think. Like, I think it's just kind of asking for it. Even this, like, maybe this navigation structure, I think that'd be super unique and
Yeah,
cool
and
to
I think
do.
for like handing off too, like
Yes.
if you prototype, instead of just trying to explain it with words, sometimes you just need a visual, and showing how that would actually animate is part of your design system that you can incorporate as your annotations
Yes.
and your prototypes. So yeah,
Nice.
that's super cool, dude.
Awesome. So yeah, I think that looks great. I mean, maybe even, I don't know, I'm trying to think of any suggestions for this view. Like, because I feel like when we've clicked in, it's like kind of, it's been very wow. But it's like, what would entice me to click in or?
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, like I would want to know more visually up front, like what kind of project it is, because
Yeah.
he does have a wide variety
Range, yeah.
of projects. Like I can get that the first one is something UI
Yeah.
related.
Or maybe it's even creating a little bit more consistency within these thumbnail images that, because I think there is a clear style developing here. And it's just, I don't know, we just need like one more step to like help tie it all together so that when I look at the portfolio, it's like, oh, it's Jorge's portfolio.
Cool. We have 1 minute left.
Yeah, so we got 1 minute left, and so make sure you guys join us tomorrow. Mick, what are you going to be showing us tomorrow?
I'm going to be taking the foundation from what I was doing today, and I'm going to actually start building out pages using those components and things like that. So
Cool, yeah. So we'll see you again on XD tomorrow,
Yeah.
and happy
Cool.
Monday.
Yeah,
Or here
happy
it's
Monday.
Monday.
I know. Bye.